In the dusty sprawl of Willow Creek Estates, a gated community shoehorned into the arid badlands of southern Arizona, rules were religion. The Homeowners Association, HOA, didn't just enforce covenants, they wielded them like a blacksmith's hammer, forging compliance from the souls of residents who dared to call this overpriced sandbox home. Lawn heights capped at 2 inches. No visible laundry on Sundays. And God forbid you painted your mailbox anything but desert sage beige. I was Jack Harlan, 58 years old, retired civil engineer, and the latest heretic in their holy war. It started innocently enough, or as innocent as anything gets when you're fighting the desert for every drop of life. Willow Creek sat on the edge of the Colorado River Basin, where summer temps hit 115 degrees Fahrenheit and rain was a rumor told by old-timers. My plot, Lot 47, backed up to a dry arroyo, a seasonal riverbed that hadn't seen real water since the floods of '89. I'd bought the place 5 years back after my wife, Ellen, passed from cancer. No kids, no ties, just me and a pension that barely covered the HOA dues. The house was a squat ranch style with cracked stucco and a yard that mocked the mandatory xeriscaping ordinance, cacti and gravel that looked like a prison yard. But I had a secret weapon, the pond. Not some koi-filled eyesore, but a practical retention basin I'd engineered in the backyard. Dug it deep, lined it with bentonite clay, and fed it via a solar-powered pump from the arroyo's underground aquifer. It held about 50,000 gallons after a good monsoon, enough to irrigate my veggie garden, fill the bird baths, and keep a few apple trees alive through Hellfire July. I called it my water hoard, a joke among neighbors who eyed it jealously as their own sprinklers wheezed brown. The HOA president, Marvin the Enforcer Caldwell, was a retired used car salesman with a comb-over that defied gravity and a grudge against anything free-spirited. He'd clawed his way to power by fining widows for faded shutters and widowers for untrimmed hedges. One sweltering August morning, as I sipped black coffee on my patio watching hummingbirds dart over the pond, his Lincoln Navigator crunched up my drive. Marvin stepped out in khakis starched to cardboard stiffness, clipboard in hand, flanked by his vice president, Sheila Voss, a peroxide blonde realtor who collected grudges like beanie babies. Jack Harlan, Marvin barked, not bothering with hellos. We've had complaints. This puddle of yours violates B. No unpermitted water features exceeding 500 gallons. It's hoarding. Unsightly. A hazard. I set down my mug, chuckling. Hoarding. It's rainwater, Marvin. From the sky. Free as the government's air. Sheila snorted, her lips pursed like she'd sucked a lemon. The covenants are clear. You want a pond, get a permit. The cost is $2,500 plus inspections. Or drain it. I glanced at the pond, its surface shimmering like liquid sapphire under the relentless sun. Dragonflies skimmed it, frogs croaked lullabies at dusk. It was my slice of Eden in this HOA hellscape. No permit. It's grandfathered. I dug it before the new rules. Marvin's eyes narrowed. Records say otherwise. Fine starts at $100 a day, retroactive 90 days. Pay up or face liens. He slapped a yellow notice on my door, $50,000 immediate penalty, hoarding water in violation of CC and RS, 50 grand. My life savings, gutted for a pond. I laughed it off that day, but it festered. Letters piled up. Lawyers called. HOAs, not mine. Neighbors whispered, Jack's gonna lose the house. Marvin patrolled like a vulture, snapping photos. By October, with monsoons swelling the arroyo, the pond hit capacity. I ignored the notices, tending my tomatoes that grew fat and red while everyone else's withered. The annual HOA meeting was a circus in the clubhouse, fluorescent lights buzzing over folding chairs and a podium where Marvin reigned. I showed up late, dust from the arroyo still on my boots. The room hushed as I took a seat near the back. PowerPoint slides droned, budgets, holiday light limits. Then Marvin's magnum opus, water conservation enforcement. Lot 47, he sneered, my photo projected giant, me by the pond, looking defiant. Mr. Harlan's illegal reservoir mocks our drought protocols.
Fines assessed, 50,000 pesos.
Liens filed next week. Eviction possible. Murmurs rippled. Old Mrs. Delgado, who'd lost her son to the '89 flood, piped up. Jack's pond helps birds. Why punish? Because rules. Marvin thundered. One pond today, swimming pools tomorrow. Willow Creek will not become Hoover Dam. Sheila nodded furiously. We've budgeted for a community fountain, approved, permitted. Pay dues, enjoy perks. I stood, voice steady. This pond captures runoff that'd flood your precious streets. It's engineering, not hoarding. Drop the fine, or I'll fight it. Marvin smirked. Fight away. Court costs on you. That night, alone with the pond's reflections, Ellen's ghost whispered in the ripples. She'd loved water. Swam in every lake we visited. Don't let them win, Jack. I pulled out blueprints from my engineering days. Surveys of the arroyo, aquifer maps, rainfall data. Willow Creek's estates were built on a floodplain, damsel in distress waiting for the next big rain. Revenge brewed slow, like desert tea. I stopped paying dues, dared the lien. Marvin sent tow trucks for my truck, impounded. Neighbors shunned me, save Delgado, who slipped me tamales. Winter rains teased, filling the arroyo to a trickle. I reinforced the pond's berm with sandbags, knowing what came next. Spring 2026 brought El Niño's wrath. Forecast screamed, 200% normal rainfall. Marvin called an emergency meeting. No outdoor watering.
Fines doubled.
I skipped it, monitoring gauges. By May, the arroyo roared, a brown serpent 20 feet wide, slamming my pond full. Water lapped the brim.
Hoa đờ dồn buzet overhead, filming violatin.
The fine escalated to $60,000.
Lien filed.
Auction notice posted. I had one play, the dam. Not my backyard berm, a real dam, forgotten upstream. In '89, the county built a small earthen dam across the arroyo to prevent flash floods into Willow Creek. It held back a seasonal lake, now silted and dry, buried under mesquite and bureaucracy. Post-flood, they abandoned it, no maintenance, no records. I'd surveyed it years ago. One weak point, a spillway clogged with debris, and it'd breach like a champagne cork. Ellen's voice again. Let nature handle it. I waited for the peak. June 15th, midnight. Monsoon hammered, lightning stitching the sky. I drove my ATV up the arroyo, rain stinging like needles. The dam loomed, 30 feet high, cracked from neglect. With a chainsaw, shovel, and prayer, I cleared the spillway. Dug at the toe, softened by weeks of soak. One final pry with a crowbar, and cracks spiderwebbed. Water growled, then roared. The dam sagged, crumbled. A wall of silt-choked fury surged downstream, straight toward Willow Creek Estates. By dawn, sirens wailed. I watched from my roof as the flood hit. Marvin's navigator floated like a bathtub toy. Sheila's approved fountain became a geyser. Streets turned rivers, garages lagoons. The pond, swollen but holding, my berm engineered true. HOA meetings drowned in lawsuits.
Fines.
Washed away. Marvin blamed me, but surveys proved. Act of God. Dam failure unforeseeable. Neighbors thanked me quietly, free water for months. I sold the house for triple, pocketed the savings, moved to a cabin by the Rio Colorado. Nature handled the rest. Perfectly.